Did you know that sensation and perception work seamlessly together and give us some of the best experiences in knowing the world around us using the sensory organs of eyes, nose, ears, mouth, tongue, especially, and skin? Continuing with the perception series of our sensory organs, today we will talk about auditory perception, gustatory and olfactory perception. Then we'll go on to learn about tactile, vestibular, and proprioceptive perceptions. So stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to my channel Dignity in Disability, and I'm Anuradha Deshpande, mother of a young man experiencing intellectual disability, and I'm also a professional. I'm a clinical psychologist, counselor, and a special educator, and founder, director of Care and Care Life Skill Academy, life skill coach. And this pandemic turned me into a digital disability life skill coach. And through my channel Dignity in Disability, I bring 2 weekly episodes of Tuesday Facts and Friday Facts. In this Tuesday Facts, which is dedicated for skill building, today we will continue our topic on perception skills. In the last episode, we talked about visual perception in detail, and in this episode, we will be talking about various other perceptions like auditory perception, gustatory and olfactory perception, and also tactile, vestibular, and proprioceptive perception skills. So let us start with auditory perception. Auditory perception refers to that ability of our brain to interpret and create impressions of the sounds we hear. Good auditory skills enable children to distinguish between different pitches and volume, rhythm, also sources of sounds and words. Auditory perception also has aspects like auditory closure, where it is an ability to complete an indistinct or an inaudible words into clear auditory image. And then auditory discrimination, where the ability to discriminate between various sounds, and then it facilitates us to understand spoken language and words and also spelling skills. Then auditory localization is an ability to determine the source of sound using only the sense of hearing. And next is auditory memory, is the ability to remember and recall some of the things we have heard in the past. And auditory sequential memory, where you have heard something in a particular series and sequence and which you can later recall the same way. This is what helps us to memorize tables, poetries, and also follow instructions. How to develop the auditory perception? Let your child listen to various types of music, play and sing along with them, and talk to your child and let them talk it back in the same way. And then teach your child how different materials produce different kind of sounds. Blindfold your child and call them from different directions of your the room and let them try to locate you. These are some of the ways you can increase the auditory perception skills of your child. Olfactory function. Olfactory function is the sense of smell, and it allows us to know and perceive different smells. It helps us to identify desirable food objects. It also helps us to detect hazards, and it plays a very important role in tastes. The olfactory nerve is the first cranial nerve, and it is the part of our autonomous nervous system which regulates body functions. This nerve enables your sense of smell. Next is the gustatory sense of perception. The gustatory system or sense of taste is the sensory system which is partially responsible for the perception of. And why do I say that it's partially responsible? Because taste is the perception produced or stimulated when a food article touches the taste buds in our oral cavity. Next perception we are going to talk about is tactile sense or sense of touch, or also called haptic perception. What does these terms mean? The Often these terms are used interchangeably by therapists and teachers. So technically, touch perception consists of tactile perception, which is very passive, where the skin simply makes contact with an object, and haptic perception, where the child actively and intentionally explores and manipulates the objects with their hands. The types of exploration depends on the object itself as well as the child's age and abilities. Having good tactile and haptic perception can help a child to use the hands very skillfully. It also helps in handwriting and the speed of writing and legibility of the writing. How to hold them. And if your touch of perception is affected, then your child may appear very clumsy while holding object or a fragile item, and they also tend to hold things very tightly, even a pencil very tightly, to help them feel the pencil better. How can you help tactile sense is to encourage the babies and toddlers with a variety of sensory mediums to encourage the hands to explore the different tactile sensations. The next sensory perception is proprioception, and this is the body's awareness sense. It tells us where our body parts are without having to look at it. Proprioception tells us how much force we have to apply whenever we use objects for holding, pushing, pulling, and also lifting them. The 5 important proprioceptive receptors are self-regulation, coordination, posture, body awareness, and ability to attend and focus, and also speech. And this is very helpful in doing our day-to-day activities, especially activities like wearing your dressing. It requires a lot of these proprioception functions. Usually weight bearing activities like crawling, push-ups, or resistant activities against pushing and pulling, heavy lifting of objects, cardiovascular activities like running, jumping on a trampoline, and also oral activities like chewing and blowing bubbles, and deep pressure activities like tight hugs can help proprioceptive functions. So the next is a vestibular sense, also known as the movement sense, which allows us to move smoothly. Because of the vestibular sense, we are able to maintain balance while we are engaged in activities because of this sense. And then vestibular sense also helps us to balance while we walk or we run, and it also helps us to stay upright when we sit and also when we stand. Engaging your children with as many sensory activities as possible will help them to do the following functions effectively. Like it stimulates the brain and creates neural pathways and improve the sensory processing system. It improves social skills such as easy communication skills and cooperative skills. It improves coordination as well as fine and gross motor skills. It helps children to calm themselves down when they are agitated or they are experiencing anxiety. So we learned about 6 more sensory perception today, and we have to combine lot of activities to stimulate all the sensory processing skills in your child. Here are some sensory activities which will help all this perception in a better way. First one is finger painting and footprint painting. It is a very messy activity, but don't let it put you off. You can just set some paper or newspaper or a tarpaulin or a sheet, a plastic sheet, and then you can get into the activity of mixing a lot of colors and then finger painting and also footprinting, and it will be a lot of fun moving around using your proprioception skills, and also it has the tactile skins are stimulated, and you can it will have wonderful experience for you and your child. Make your own slime. Just take a bowl of corn flour and put some water, and you see they turning from a solid consistency into a liquid form, and then add a lot of food colors to it, and it will give a right of colors and also the texture. It's a very fine sensory stimulating activity. The next activity is scented play doh. You have a play doh, then put different kind of vanilla extract or lemon juice or cinnamon powder, and then dip your play doh into it. Just see that they are not enamored with this nice aroma and they put it in their mouth. The next activity is mud kitchen. If you want to expose your child to various experience of kitchen activities, you can take them out and they will experiment with mud water. They can play, they can use different bowls and molds to make cupcakes and various activities. This will give them a lot of exposure to their tactile and also their imaginary skills, and also they have first hand exposure in different kitchen activities. You can do it even with regular dough for making your rotis, but it will please give them this chance to experiment with various textures. The next one is to create a sensory ocean. If you have a container with a compartment, then you can put some sand in one compartment and some water in the other compartment, and put relevant things inside them, like make the water little blue to denote it's an ocean, and also sand, and put various articles in it and let the child find them out. Next is painting with food. Edible sensory activities are always good for your child because they can smell it, they can feel it, and they can eat it. So you can use materials like apple sauce or chocolate sauce or yogurt, and help your child to create a piece of art that looks, smells, and tastes amazing. The next one is water beads. Water beads are non-toxic and feel so satisfying when you squish it around your hands, and of them in the fridge so that they will have exposure to cold and warm water beads. Do include the variety of activities so that your child will have an enhanced sensory perception skill, and they will benefit in their day-to-day function. So these are some of the concepts about sensory perception and some of the activities I mentioned. There are many more activities out there. Typically, your occupational therapist can only take as much activities that will fit into their 45 minutes or 1 hour program. But as parents, you have got variety of opportunities. But as parents, you have opportunities to expose them to a variety of such sensory stimulating activities. So do explore on them and improve your child's sensory processing and sensory perception skills. So that's all from the Tuesday tag today, and I will meet you very soon on this Friday with another episode on facts, and I'll see you soon. So that's all from perception skills. So that's all from Tuesday Facts today, and we talked about perception skills. If you like this video, please like, share, and comment, and do not forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon so that I can so that you can get notifications ahead of so that you will get notification and you will not miss any episodes. I'll see you this Friday with another episode of Facts. Until then, goodbye and take good care of yourselves.